Hello internet people, welcome to another edition of the Broken Box Gamer Retro, a short series where I take a look at some of the games of yesteryear that still make us happy playing them today. Today's title is an unusual one. Its theme is a little all over the place. It's colourful to look at, joyful. The board is really stands out with its 3D nature. But the theme of the game is really dark and murderous. You're running around a mansion killing off all these other people. Like an anti-Clue, if you will, or Cluedo, depending on where you're from. It's very unusual. And though it looks like it's aimed at younger players, I'm not 100... I don't know if it is. That's a weird one. Maybe you could answer the question in the comments. But anyway, without further ado, mind the tea. Let's have a look at 13 Dead End Drive. Now this one, it wasn't too popular, I think, over here in the UK. It didn't seem to kick off as much as it did in the US. But it's still a wonderful game. And the way the game works, the way you can control everybody and not just your characters, is a very unusual mechanic. And it's not one I've seen in any other game, really. Actually, come to think of it, there probably are some out there. Once again, answers in the comments. But yeah, I'm a little unsure on whether or not that's seen in any of the games. But anyway, can't wait to get this one to the table. It's a brilliant game, really easy to play, fun for all the kids. So let's get down and have a look.
6-sided dice, character cards, portrait cards, detective cards, trap and wild cards, 12 potential millionaires and a hard-boiled detective. Fantastic 3D game board. The object of the game in 13 Dead End Drive, or at least the story behind it, is that poor old Aunt Agatha has recently passed away without any surviving relatives to inherit her vast fortune. So, all her former friends and employees have gathered around the table at Agatha's former residence for the reading of the will, only to discover that all her wealth would go only to her favourite individual, the one whose portrait hangs above the fireplace. Staring each other down with greedy eyes and filled with murderous intent, one by one they slowly step away from the table and immediately set about making sure that there is absolutely no question or competition to get in the way of what is rightfully theirs. One way or another, only one lucky individual will be walking out 13 Dead End Drive with Agatha's fortune. The others will be lucky to leave with their lives. There are 3 ways to achieve this twisted goal. We'll take a look at those in a short while. In the meantime, let's look at the setup. This is quite possibly one of the most impressive 3D boards of its type that I've set eyes on for a fair while, and will certainly have onlookers stopping by your table to see what's going on. You've got your bookcase trap, the armour trap, the chandelier, the dodgy staircase, and of course the fireplace, complete with raging flames, as well as all would-be inheritors of Agatha's fortune, all gathered on their red chairs, ready to battle with Aunt Agatha looking on from her portrait on the wall. The portrait isn't just a bit of thematic eye candy either. It actually has a use, showing which of Agatha's guests is currently set to walk away with untold riches in hand. To set up the portrait deck, firstly find the Aunt Agatha card and place it face down. Then shuffle all the other character portrait cards, including the cat, and also place those face down on top of the Aunt Agatha card. If done correctly, the portrait hidden behind Agatha's card will be a complete mystery to all. Next, take the deck that you've now created and place them in the portrait above the fireplace. Bit of a squeeze. There we go. Next, take the trap cards with the wild cards mixed in and the detective cards, and shuffle them together to form the trap deck. Once done, place the trap deck on the board just next to the pathway leading into the mansion, leaving adequate room for a discard pile. Next, take the character cards, the ones with the white frame, give them a shuffle and distribute them to each player. The number of cards received is dependent on the player count, with 4 players receiving 3, 3 players receiving 4, and 2 receiving 4 plus 2 secret characters each. For the purposes of this tutorial, we'll be using 4 character cards. Once dealt, by all means have a look at them, but be sure to keep them a secret. Make no mistake, this is not a co-op game. So we have the chauffeur, the best friend, the tennis coach, and finally the butler. This time, he won't be the only one that did it. In order to win 13 Dead End Drive, one of your dealt characters must be the one to walk away with Aunt Agatha's fortune. As mentioned earlier, you can make sure this happens in one of three ways. The first way to win is to get one of your characters to leave the mansion, something only the character whose portrait is currently hanging above the fireplace can do. Don't worry, you don't need to get an exact number to leave, just so long as you do. It sounds easy enough, but believe me, it isn't. We'll find out why in a second or two. The second way to win is to have the detective reach the game over space on the path leading up to the mansion. Once he arrives, whoever is lucky enough to be Agatha's current favourite will win. The final way to win is your character is mysteriously the last one left alive. Once ready to begin, remove Aunt Agatha's portrait from the picture frame, revealing the current favourite. This case, it's the chef. Apologies for the camera angle, I know it's not the best, but I do what I can. During the game, the portrait will change many times, so if the current favourite isn't one of your characters, don't worry, it soon could be. Besides, the one who is deemed worthy of riches is also worthy of everyone's attention, and that isn't a good thing. As stated in the win conditions, currently the chef is the only character who can win the fortune, so no one else can leave the mansion except for him. This means that if you have the chef amongst your character cards, get him to the exit as fast as you can. If he isn't among your cards, your job is to either steer the chef away from the mansion entrance or have the fellow meet an untimely end. The choice is yours. Once decided who can go first, simply roll the dice. The numbers shown on these dice apply to the movement of any character in the mansion, not just the ones on your card, and is split between them, assigning one dice to one character and the other to another, regardless of them having already been moved this round, but this will only apply once every character has been moved off of their starting red chair space. So to get things going, I'll choose to move the boyfriend, 6 spaces with 1 die. No diagonal movement is allowed. And I'll move this other character using the second dice I rolled, 3 spaces. You cannot move the same character twice during your turn, 1 dice roll per character. Also, you can't move a character to obstacles like the picture frame here and the sofa over here. Though of course you can go over the rug, just use a bit of common sense in this regard. You also cannot end your movement within the same space that you started it. Now let's talk about trap spaces. These are highlighted on the board using colourful skull and crossbone symbols as shown there. Once a character has moved onto that space, you can play any trap card you are currently holding. No trap card, simply draw one from the trap deck. If the trap card drawn matches the triggered trap, go ahead and do the dirty deed of dispatching the competition. Looking at our card, it is a statue card, so it could set off the trap. But for now, we'll hold on to it. You don't have to reveal which card you drew unless it's a detective card. So sometimes not playing a card is a good bluffing tactic. Let's keep it with us for now. In the event you do draw a detective card, move the detective 1 space closer to the mansion entrance, placing the now used detective card in the discard pile. Done. If at any point in the game you roll a double 5, nice. A double being rolled means that a new favourite has been chosen. Now the butler is the one who stands to inherit Agatha's fortune. We have the butler as one of our character cards. So on our next turn, a roll of 6 and a 3, our goal now is to get him out of here in one piece before another double can be rolled. Let's move him 6 spaces towards the exit. Bearing in mind that characters cannot go through other characters or end their turn on another character's space. Let's move away our competitors. Now let's see a trap in action. It's our turn, and since he's not on any of our character cards, we want to remove the ex-boyfriend from the runnings, increasing our chances of walking away with loads of money. A 6 and a 5. This places the boyfriend on a trap. So let's take a trap card. And it's a wild card. This guarantees a trap use. So rather than waste this opportunity, let's waste the X instead. Bye bye, Beauregard. And he's gone. Remove his standee from the board. The player who held the boyfriend card discards it, placing it face down on the couch at the right of the board. May he rest in pieces. If an eliminated character's portrait is shown above the fireplace at any time, simply remove it, revealing the next potential winner. After a number of rounds have been played, the number of players on the board might thin out, but if your character is still on the board and with the portrait above the fireplace showing them as their favourite, for us here, it's the supposed best friend. Get rolling those dice to allow her to escape and win the riches before the detective arrives, or another double is rolled. A 6 and a 4. 6 being just the number we needed for the best friend to hightail it out of here with both fortune and glory, kid. Congratulations! Other than the trap spaces, the only other spaces worth taking note of are the secret passageways. These are allowed to move directly from one secret passageway space to another. This movement counting as only one space. And that's 13 Dead End Drive.
And that's 13 Dead End Drive. What a wonderfully weird game this is. The anti-Cluedo, if you will. I've never known a game like this one. It's a bit unusual, and I don't quite know how you'd sell it to someone. You kind of kill people off. It's a bit weird. But if you can get hold of this, it's really good fun. For if you can get past its really dark theme and humour, I suppose. Younger players do enjoy it. My little boys, they enjoy playing this one. And honestly, it's just a fun game, which, as I say, I can't get over the theme of it. It's very unusual. It's like Cluedo mixed with Mousetrap, if that makes sense. And that's it for Broken Box Gamer Retro, at least for this episode. If you like my content, give us a like, subscribe, comment, and maybe send us a message. Let us know what you'd like to see on the channel, what you wouldn't like to see on the channel, or anything I'm doing wrong, you know. But yeah, until then, take care, guys. Have a good one.